All right. So question 1B, which boy has the highest resting rate? Resting rate means at the very beginning. So we look at the very beginning, right? Okay, what can you say? Very beginning, when the boys were not running. You all see that is boy B. I think all of you or most of you got it correct. Okay, so resting rate, because the graph shows when the boys were running. Okay, so we are going to take it at time 0 to be the resting rate. Okay, because they just started, when they just started running, okay, the first measurement of the heart rate is when they just started, which is very close to the resting rate. Okay, so therefore, if you take a look here, highest, right, is actually this one. Okay, and that is boy B. If you look at A and C, they started off with the same heart rate. Okay, so let's say A and C, their heart rate is 60, then B could be at 70. Can y'all see that? So B actually shows the highest resting rate. I'm looking at all your answers now. Yeah. Okay. So let's go on. Any questions here? No question. All fine. Give me a thumbs up. Good. Thank you. Now, let's look at next 1C. Besides oxygen and carbon dioxide, identify 2 more substances that are found in the blood transported throughout the human body. Okay, identify 2 more substances that are transported throughout the human body. All right, so I will highlight somebody's answer later. Okay, so you need to know, okay, blood transports a number of substances. Blood transports carbon dioxide, oxygen, okay? Another few more is actually water, digested food, and waste materials. Okay, so waste materials, you know where it's going to go. Yeah, it's going to be sent to maybe where you need to pass everything out of your body, right? So digested food definitely to all parts of the body where, you know, you need the energy. Yeah. And then for the water, yep, all parts of our body will need water also. Yes, you need to write digested food. Okay, undigested food or food that is being consumed, you know where they are, right? It started from the mouth, then, you know, the food pipe going to the stomach and then to the small intestine, isn't it? So yeah, you cannot just write down food. You have to talk about digested food because digested food goes into the bloodstream where the small intestine is. That is when digestion is completed. Okay, so you need to add in this water, digested food, or the waste materials, these 3 parts here. Okay, Evan, I hope you understand now, yeah? Okay, I want to highlight somebody's answer. Number 1, Evan already asked me. So he said, can I just write food? I said, no, must be digested food. And I explained. So Timothy, your answer was red and white blood cells, correct? You saw that, right? Okay, and then I didn't mark you correct. Do you know why? Corrections you can do on your own paper if you have printed out. That's why I told you all that it will be good to print out. Otherwise, you will have to copy down on some paper. You can even go into the Google Sheet to do your corrections. Up to you. Now, Timothy, I want you to take note over here. Okay, red blood cells and white blood cells, right? They are part of the blood. Okay, they are part of the blood. It is not like being transported by the blood. Transported by the blood, usually it is directed to what are the other substances that is not part of the blood, no, that is being carried around. Clear or not? Yeah. So if this is your answer, the question to your answer would be, name 2 parts or 2 components of blood. Then you will get it correct. Okay, so your answer doesn't suit this question because this is about the substances that are transported by the blood. Clear? Okay. So be very careful here. That's all I want to highlight for this question. So let's go on. Okay, we have question 2 now. What is this topic on? Quickly. Very general, you know, the topic. Yeah, you can say that it's like plant system, but which system are we talking about? Tamayi, you got it right. Okay, this is actually related to the plant transport system. Do you recall about, you know, the tubes, removing this one, removing that one? Isn't it linked? Yes, it is. So this is about the transport system in plants, or we can say plant transport system, very much linked to it. Okay. Benjamin wanted to find out if the number of fruits a plant produces affects the level of sweetness of the fruits when ripe. He grew 3 similar plants, X, Y, and Z, in similar conditions, limited the number of fruits each plant can have. When the fruits of each plant are ripe, he took the fruit cuttings of the same size from each plant. He placed the cuttings in a container with a lot of insect Q. So insect Q is attracted to the sweetness of the fruits, okay? He then counted the number of insects found on each cutting, recorded the results in the table here. Okay, so for the fruits from the plant X, right, there were 24 insects. Then the fruits from Y, yes, go to the toilet, please. Okay, there are like 8 insects. And then for the fruits on Z, only 2 insects. So what do you think? What is the relationship between the number of fruits and the sweetness of the fruits? How many of you cannot understand this question here? Or can understand? Or you don't know what you don't know? It's fine, you know, don't worry about it. You can ask me anything. I will not give negative comments on your answers. Okay. Some of you say that this is a little bit related to photosynthesis, can be related. Yeah. So now I want you all to take note. Okay, when you are given questions like these, right? Okay, Benjamin wanted to find out how number of fruits affect the level of sweetness of the fruits. Do you know the number of fruits here? Yes or no? If you know, tell me you know. If you don't know, tell me you don't know. How do you tell? I see some of you typing away. Yeah, okay. Avril, good. Who else? Timothy, how come you got so many of your co-sibling behind you? Only Avril know. How about the rest of you? Okay, you know what Avril said? Everybody don't know a count. How to count? My question is, Abram, do you know how many fruits there is on each of the plant? This guy, right, Benjamin, he grew 3 similar plants, right? But he limited the number of fruits. How do you know how many fruits the trees have? You can count. How? By looking at the trees, right? Do you all look at the plant? Look at the picture. Okay, it pointed out to you, isn't it? So the picture actually show you how many pieces of fruits there is. Yeah, so X, there are 2, right? So here you have 2 fruits, right? And then what about Y? Y, you have 4. Okay, and then what about Z? You have about 6. Okay, good. So pretty obvious now. Those of you who didn't realize that, okay, I hope you realize now the number of fruits actually have been shown on the diagrams. Okay, so what is the relationship between the number of fruits and the sweetness of the fruits? Is there any data on sweetness? You just realize that, okay, you know the number already, right? Okay, so you roughly know 2, 4, and 6. Then how do you tell the sweetness? Is there any data collected that tells you whether it is sweet or not? The insects, Abram says. Abram says, insect Q is attracted by sweetness. April also says sweetness. Timothy, now do you understand? Okay, when they talk about the level of sweetness, right, they were referring to the number of insect Q attracted to the fruit. Can see that or not? All right, so if you read this question and you didn't understand the question fully, could be your mind is very occupied already, very tired already. That's why you couldn't understand. Okay, but slowly, as you read it again, you can actually identify something. Okay, so yes, relationship between number of fruits, we can get number of fruits, we can get the data from the sweetness. Okay, sweetness, more insects attracted means what? Sweeter fruits, right? Okay, so yes, we have some clues already. So what do you see? For X, right, there were only 2 fruits grown on the plant. When you take a sample of one of the fruits, right, 24 insects were attracted to it. That means it is very sweet. Okay, so very sweet. This will be the least sweet. Can you see? And then there were more fruits actually on plant Z. So your conclusion will be this. Okay, the greater the number of fruits, the less sweet the fruits will be. Okay, or you can say the higher the number of fruits, the lesser the sweetness of the fruits. Okay, so vice versa will work as well. Now, when you are supposed to answer these kind of questions, right? They ask you to find relationship between number of fruits and the sweetness. You must talk about number of fruits and sweetness. Clear? Okay, why is that so? Because when I see answers like this, all right, and I tell you teachers will struggle whether to give you marks or not. Okay, so in general, it seems like this is answered pretty well. Okay, but then, Brian, I think you were not able to count the number of fruits, right? So you don't know. You don't know how to answer this part. Okay, and then Yun Shen says, as the number of fruits on the tree decreases, the number of insects found increases. So do you think this is a direct answer? Do you think Yun Shen should be given a lot of marks for her answer? Cannot, right? Because she did not tell me exactly sweet or not sweet. She left me in a state where I have to make inference on my own. Yes or no? Yeah, you cannot let your marker do that. No, the marker is already very tired marking everybody's answer. How can you make your marker go and think again, right? You have to answer the question like you're teaching somebody science. So Yun Xuan, this part here, you cannot get the marks. But the rest of you seems okay until, yep, Timothy, I think the same thing over here. Yeah, Mingla, go to the toilet, please. Okay, Timothy, as the number of fruits increases, the number of insects found increases. They didn't tell you to relate number of fruits with the number of insects. They asked you to relate number of fruits with the sweetness. Okay, so you answer accordingly. You need to talk about the sweetness. Okay. The lesser the number of fruits, the sweeter the fruits will be. Yes, you're talking about sweetness. This is correct, Evan. Evan, happy, right? You go, yay, I know. Let's go on. Now explain your answer in part A. Why is that so? So when you talk about explaining why higher the number of fruits, the lesser the sweetness, think about it. You have come across questions on, how to grow big and sweet grapes, isn't it? Correct? So you are going to cut, the stem in certain way such that all the food that is being made in the leaves or all the sugar that is made in the leaves is transported to the fruits and stored there. So in this way, it's the same kind of reasoning. If you have lesser number of fruits, right? You see over here, only 2 fruits, right? there are like similar number of leaves